Colin and the Donovan, cause that's what's that?
I was not like in a great place yesterday, man. I woke up, felt like just garbage, man. I don't know what it was. If I didn't,
have Omicron?
No. I had a few beers the night before, but it wasn't that bad. It wasn't that bad.
Omicron Perseid.
So what day was that? Was Friday, Thursday. Oh, I had stayed up pretty late because I was trying to get all like the preparatory groundwork and the research done for the beer show, and then I was gonna shoot it that night, but then I never did. I just got too tired, started feeling like shit, and then Friday morning I woke up and I was like, oh God, I just feel bad. I feel real bad. I'm not going to work today. That's not happening.
So you didn't go to work on Friday?
No, I did not go to work on Friday.
Nice.
But I also, like, as you notice, I didn't text you very much on Friday.
Right.
I was just mostly, like, I didn't
talk to you till the evening, I don't think.
Yeah. I think
Like
it
a
was
little bit of
mostly coming off, because that was Friday. So Wednesday night, I guess, coming into Thursday, was the first night I actually had any real sleep. Because I took some Z-Quil. I went to the pharmacy to see if they had any take-home COVID tests, just because I wanted to stock up. And, you never know what if I want to go do something in Seattle and all they do is require a test? I got one right here. Here you go. Now I can go participate in society again.
No.
Super chill.
Super chill.
But I knew there was not a chance I was going to get one. But I went and asked, and then
You got to wait till next month when the government starts doling them out. The federal
they're
government's
not.
doing it.
They're so fucking terrible.
I know. They're such a piece of shit. And
If
apparently-
Biden wasn't so deep into like the cock of what he perceives as American society, he would just say, "Hey, we're going to give them to the states," because they could do that real quick.
Right.
And then Inslee could be the one out there, just like he had the National Guard out there handing out potatoes and shit during the
he's
lockdown. You
doing
remember
masks
that?
and stuff now, but instead they're going to give them to schools and other government buildings. So you can go to a school and you can request some when they get there. But until then, you should really buy some online because getting them for free through the state isn't the only way to get them.
Yeah. No, you
That's-
can
I
pay
swear to God, he
$25
said
a pop.
that. Yes,
He's the dude that has. Okay. Anyways.
he's such a piece of shit.
Regardless of all this, I didn't mean to get off on a tangent. Yeah, so I went there, and I've been having a really hard time. I quit. The last nicotine I had was like Thursday morning, and it was some of the last renovations I was doing in here before New Year's, and we had plans to go to Jake's place New Year's.
Yes.
But then Carolina had something going on, and then one thing led to another, and it was just like I was not in a good space, man. I was not. Oh yeah, the ice. That was the big thing. Yeah, we went to go pick up her car, and there was all of Driftwood Key was just an ice rink. I was like, I'm not trying to deal with that shit at 1:00 in the morning on the way home after having a couple beers. And so anyways, I'm there talking to the pharmacist, having a really bad time. I literally hadn't had more than 30 minutes of sleep consecutively since the 30th, the night of the 30th. And so I was literally like, I was starting to see shit. I was losing my fucking mind. I couldn't handle being around anybody. I was trying to lock myself in here most hours of the day because I didn't want to be around her because I don't want her to be exposed to this explosive ball of hate. And so I asked the pharmacist after I asked them if they had any COVID tests. I was like, okay, so here's the deal. I've been trying to quit nicotine. I'm free for a week and a half, but I haven't slept. I literally haven't slept. I need to understand when I say I have not slept in a week and a half. Do you have any recommendations on something I could take? So she points me to the Z-Quil. Got that. Slept for 6 hours that night.
Nice.
Then I woke up. The next day I felt great. I went to work. Fucking hey, cool.
Right, I remember.
And
that.
then Friday rolled around and it had caught up to me, and I was like, oh fuck no, I have a week and a half of things to catch up on. And I think that's what it was. I just felt like I got hit by a truck. So I just slept most of the day, in and out. Carolina was gone running, like doing stuff. So I had all day to myself. And so I was like watching Joe Rogan videos and napping right in this chair because I can lean back like this.
Yeah.
I can accidentally take naps. So that's what I was doing all Friday. And then all of a sudden Friday night, I was like, oh fuck, I got to put out a show. I got to do a thing. I got to do all this and that and the other thing. It's been a struggle, bro. But yesterday was like the first night I went to bed without any assistance chemically.
There you go.
And, it's been hard today because of the podcast. I usually smoke up a storm, but, I got these things in. It's fine.
Yeah.
But anyways, I wanted to ask you, though.
Yes.
Sorry. As the segment, it's the first After Dark segment we're doing.
It's
So
the first
it's new.
special Patreon-only
Yeah.
segment that we're doing here. So
And when people sign up for Patreon, they get access to us.
yes.
And that's the deal, right? I like the way Larry put that.
Post episode 120 is what this is, just so everyone knows.
Oh, perfect. Yeah, thank you. But I wanted to ask you about Twitch, right?
Okay.
I've gotten more and more into this Twitch world, and I'm realizing that there's a connection that you gain with a Twitch creator that is not too dissimilar to one of a very long-term video podcast or a podcast or something like that, right?
Yeah.
Except for with the Twitch, you have slightly more input because there's a live chat going on. It's kind of like YouTube Live, right? Like William Wallace. You've never met Will.
No.
I work with him every day, so it's a little different.
Yeah.
Right, but like you feel some connection to you, and the way me and him talk, he talks about some of the things that you do and say and stuff on the podcast and all that. So like, he has somewhat of a parallel relationship with you, right? And so I was curious in this new model of media splits and stuff that I think we're developing between legacy media, new media, independent media. Twitch is in there somewhere because there's a lot of influencers that are on Twitch. There's a category there called just chatting, which is basically like if you're not doing game shit, here's another. This is your main channel. You hang out there, and there's a lot of political stuff on there. The Quartering. You ever watch anything from The Quartering?
No.
Tim Pool talks about The Quartering all the time.
Okay.
He does most of his shit on Twitch, and then he puts it up on YouTube afterwards. So I'm wondering, I just don't know if you have enough exposure to Twitch world and people to know maybe what's the relationship. Where do they? Are they part of new media, independent media? Because some Twitch channels are heavily supported by sponsors and this, that, and the other thing.
Yeah.
I almost wonder if maybe I'm asking you about a world you don't know too much about.
No, because Twitch is not necessarily exclusive to that. There are lots of YouTubers and stuff like that have particular products. Even Steven Crowder, Spartan Armor and stuff
That's
like
perfect.
that. Walther Guns, that's just
because he's not a YouTuber. He's a creator that is on YouTube.
Exactly. So, and I think that's maybe where more categories might come into play, because I don't really have a way to discern those things. At first I was thinking, most of those people are promoting things that they care about, but there are lots of people who also promote stuff that they don't care about, that they're doing it because those people are willing to place an ad with them, and so they're going to just make that ad and they're going to do whatever,
No matter how much they shill for it on their ad read. Oh yeah, I would never say anything that I wouldn't use in my own life. Yeah, but you're doing your third fucking sheet set, dude.
Exactly.
I heard you do 3 sheet sets ago 3 years ago.
Right. Ben Shapiro, right?
Word.
Ben Shapiro's a good example.
The first one that came to mind.
He does different stuff all the time. He's like, I would never do this if I didn't use it myself, I'm sure. I bet somebody in your office uses that thing because they send you a free thing and someone is going to use it and then say, it was pretty good, So that's fine, but that's also a difficult distinction because I can't tell what someone's motives are, whether or not they're being honest. Sometimes you can, but you can't always, you know. No, so it would be hard for someone to tell. I don't know. You can't see in my private life, so you don't know whether or not I'm actually using this product, especially sheets or blinds or something like that. You don't know whether or not I have the blinds hung up in my house. I'm not doing videos out of my house. You have no idea.
Not.
So,
But
that might be. This was a very. So this was really something I started to think about as Larry asked about it, and so the 3-tiered thing is definitely a rough layout of what kind of the media map could be. And this is definitely, I think, a useful exercise for us to just continue to come back to. Yeah. So it could change, but it'll take time, I think.
We need a whiteboard up in this bitch.
Yeah. Yes, we do.
Something we can keep track of, something like that.
I think that this particular way that media
every square inch is occupied.
We could even put it down here or something.
Yeah.
The way that the media structure is setting itself up. I think it's finding its not final form, but its next phase. Like this, it's settling into, like kind of these roughly, right? These kind of 3 tiers
like
of
goes down, plateaus for a while.
Corporate
moves
media
to something else, plateaus for a while.
corporate media, new media, independent media. I think the media is going to look like this for a while. It took it a while to shift, like you said, from corporate media, then down to new media, and then down to independent media. And now we have these 3 tiers, maybe multiple steps. And I think it's going to look like this for a while. These are going to
So
be
you think like the way it is today,
as
like
far as avenues, not
avenues.
necessarily people that are on those
Okay.
legs or on those steps, but the avenues to it. You're either going to be independent media, right? And then eventually you're going to move up to new media, or you're going to stay with that and you're going to stay independent media with a real hard following, because as far as
So it's almost like it's shill media, semi-shill media, and non-shill media.
yes, and you can get ads and have corporate money in the way that like Bennick is a corporation. You
Yeah.
can have corporate
Or
money
Spartan Armor.
and
Somebody who legitimately believes in what you're doing and doesn't
still
want
be
you to change your ways.
right
Fucking ad read, Jesus Christ.
and still
1
be,
and 0 need to be farther apart.
you can do that and still be independent.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't even know that I don't think I would call Steven Crowder new media.
No.
Steven Crowder
He's independent media.
He's definitely independent
Yeah.
media.
Like
And-
being backed by the Blaze to me isn't. The Blaze is like a home for independent media.
right.
Like Dave Rubin, not new media,
Right.
independent media. You Are Here, guys.
Candace Owens.
Candace Owens.
She's very new. as
She
far as
is
the media
independent.
structure goes.
Yeah. So, okay. So
Not new in the way of new media, but new
Yes.
in time relevance. I mean,
new and time relevance.
Yes.
But even then, I would say like Daily Wire, new
Yes.
media,
yes.
Daily Wire affiliates, the people that work for Daily Wire, like Candace Owens, independent media. Candace Owens' show, kind of her own deal.
I thought she was on the Blaze.
She used to could.
Oh, now
Daily
she's-
Wire picked her up.
Oh, okay. Just okay.
a while back. Back when they first started to make their big moves into movies and shit like that.
Okay.
Which I saw the trailer for one of their new
Me
movies.
too. On YouTube.
I don't know. I wish Daily Wire would make movies I want to watch. I'm not into like those hardcore suspense thrillers.
Yeah.
Like
Oh, I
I don't
like
want to
movies
be
like
fucking
that.
stressed out for 2.5
I
hours,
like
bro.
movies like that.
Yeah, I don't need that in my life.
But
But
Jordan always talks.
I want him to
about-
make a nice fucking sci-fi movie, something
Yeah.
like that.
Jordan always talks about how dramatic and intense my Netflix is.
Yeah, I would
That's
certainly
what all,
imagine,
that's what
dude.
all of the movies are on there. All the movies and shows. Yeah.
When you the way you tried to sell me Tusk, I was like, this bro needs to- and then I watched that movie. I'm like, damn, this movie.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a good movie, but it's
It's
a
crazy.
hard movie.
Yeah.
It's a great movie. I try to turn a lot of people onto that actually.
Yeah, so I think it would behoove us. I'm just closing this up without
Mm-hmm.
need anymore, not because I'm done with this. Just so you're not like, oh, I have to. I think it would behoove us to keep some type of list, even if I just took a big piece of butcher paper from Bennick,
Mm-hmm.
that we could kind of roll and unroll. It would behoove us to try and plot that out, and then be able to structure it and put it on the website so that we could refer to these different levels and people could go and look at it. This is our map of the media. This is
So-
the way that we are viewing modern media, and these are the tiers. These are examples of people that are in these tiers, and this is when we say new media, when we say independent media, this is what we're talking about.
So I think it'd be really cool, right? Just looking at the screen where it's at now, right? Let's get rid of that corkboard.
Fuck
And
a
let's put a
corkboard.
nice big whiteboard back there, right? And it got to be one of the magnetic joints because we're gonna have to be able to move these things around.
Yes.
And well, we'll see about that part, but yeah, I think we could put it right over there too because it'll be visible in the show, but it won't you won't be totally legible in the show. So you can
Right.
see it and you'll see major changes and stuff like that. But other than that, you got to go to the website or the
go to the
Patreon.
website.
You got to check that shit out. I'm into that.
Yeah, because no, like I said, I think that you're right. I think there are almost definitely more than 3 layers, or
Yeah.
at least sub layers to the 3 layers.
Yeah.
You know,
If I had to broad strokes though, 3 layers now seems doable. It seems feasible.
Yeah.
I could throw most people into 3 layers. And honestly, I'd probably say max 4 though.
Yeah.
I don't think there's more than 4 if there is.
No, and within that, like, so you can go 1A, 1B, 1C, and that's how you can kind of differentiate between like Twitch and stuff like that, where you have people, Twitch and even YouTube in some degrees, and that's where you would draw a definition where these people are on YouTube, but they're new media.
What is that noise?
Wind chimes?
Yeah, it sounds like wind chimes. Sorry.
Where you would say these people are on YouTube, but they're new media. And these people are on YouTube, but they're independent media.
Yeah.
And these people are on YouTube, but they're actually corporate media. This is just where they post their videos on YouTube, because ABC News, you can watch ABC News, a live feed of it all the time on YouTube. And but that doesn't make them independent or new media. They're still corporate media. They just have a live stream that's on YouTube all the time. So
yeah. He's like perfectly looking at the camera when I picked him up.
Yeah, so it just depends. You
Yeah.
know?
And I would be curious too, and it'll change over as time evolves too, because it doesn't take much for all of a sudden somebody that once was maybe independent media to shill up to become new media all of a sudden. Like, it really doesn't change that much. It's almost more of their how they present what they do. It's not even so much in their ideas.
Like we were talking about breaking points. When they were on the hill, they were definitely new media.
Yeah,
and they
fit.
Yeah, and they kind of shrunk themselves back down to independent media because now they're all crowdfunded and they're doing kind of whatever they wanted, and they're doing some stuff that's kind of edgy. They're talking about Epstein all the time, and Sagar is on his Instagram saying, a private individual just messaged me and wants to be kept private, but says that they're going to be fired for this, and this. Like, this is wrong. But then he's on breaking points saying that, but not using his platform to say fuck the government mandates. This is ridiculous, right?
And that gets me like, what is it?
Working their way back to new media.
Yeah, why? Why the fuck? He's got no.
I don't know.
He's got nothing affiliated with the show, as far as I would know, right? Because it's all fan funded, blah blah blah. It's like, what is it that's preventing you from saying what you mean on your own fucking show? You are independent, dude. Act like it.
This would be my theory.
Maybe
and I don't know.
Aspect.
I can't speak for him personally, because the only answer I have to that is just that his morals are weak. Your constitution is weak. That you have a platform, you have money, you have funding, you have the ability to say whatever you want, and you still choose to limit your own speech. You're censoring yourself for no reason at all, and that's the only thing.
Maybe he thinks his audience is different.
I don't know. I don't know because I can't think of a reason to do that because
it'd still be shilling, but
because ideally, or even top point, the people that followed you to breaking points are the audience that you want, so they're willing to accept whatever opinions you have because they followed you here. So
if they're still here, you're fine.
As on a personal level, I don't know what would stop you from that.
I am just really confused about... No, just poke your head out there real quick. Like, I'm really confused as to what that is. Oh, buddy. Who's barking? Yeah. Unfortunately, Breaking Points has lost a few points in my estimation. But, it sounds like everything's fine. Thank God. See, sometimes the side door out there to the beer fridge, sometimes it doesn't quite seat properly. And the wind will hit it, and the door will blow open.
Is sitting on the table holding
some wind chimes.
Yeah,
she's holding wind chimes.
She's like, "Oh, can you
and
hear
she
that
doesn't think it's going to be loud as fuck.
Yeah, she's like, "Oh, can you hear that in there?" I said, "Yes."
No, babe, you're fine. Right now, actually, this is kind of funny. We'll because this is it. I think we should.
Only segment.
Yeah, this is Patreon only segment. Okay. We're not live. We're just recording randomly, and we're talking about random shit.
Shows how amazing the new mics are, right?
Yes. Say it a little louder. You'll probably be heard just fine. No, I'm sure you will. Hit it. I want to watch the levels.
Yeah? Can you?
Yes.
Oh my gosh, you see? These new mics are pretty awesome.
They're fucking not that bad. Yeah. Thank goodness. Awesome. All right, cool.
So,
yeah.
Breaking points. Okay, so
breaking points.
Right? Weak personal constitution, and that's the only thing I can think of as to why he isn't grasping at the opportunity to say whatever he wants. Because Crystal is doing that, right?
Yeah.
But I draw back to that same distinction I was drawing earlier, that I think that Crystal is doing that because her morals are set in similar, not the same, because there's a lot of people she calls out, a lot of differences, right? But similar places that corporate media sits. So a lot of her ideas, at least on the surface, are acceptable and they're easy to sell at even a corporate media level. So there's nothing to stop her from laying everything out because tax the rich, take the billionaires' money. That's what everybody else is saying in corporate media. So there's nothing to stop her from saying that. That's not how Sagar and Jetty feels.
And her background, right? Her background was, that bitch on the that cat. She's fine. I wonder, because I know Sagar's background. I forget what Crystal's background is before she got hired onto the Hill and stuff like that. But she seems she worked at MSNBC.
Yeah.
See, because she seems like a perfect, MSNBC anchor that just didn't get to be. Like, it was like she was the B gal that never got the top chair. Like, the way she talks about ideas and stuff like that. And I may have gave her not as much credit when I first started to, like, really get into Crystal, Kyle, and Friends and stuff like that. The more I listen to that, the less I think she's been corrupted by Kyle. She's just more free to be who she fucking wants to be, and that's about it. The two of them are pretty. She is. Yeah, the two of them are pretty. You could tell this is Kyle's thing, this is Crystal's thing, and that's just who she is. And I just think she's kind of a halfway deep. She talks about it. She doesn't live in the city. She lives out in BFG or whatever. Just lives away from everything. And commutes in to work and does this shit. So she's just one of those people that, it comes in, stirs the pot, says the right talking points, and then goes home. It's a job to her. I don't think it's real. What she advocates for, she doesn't think it'll truly touch her neck of the woods.
No. And this is what I think a good example, right? They did her and Kyle Kalinske and someone else did a live stream for Julian Assange. They had his brother on there or something, and someone else, and it's like, we're gonna live stream on YouTube and talk about what's happening to Julian Assange because this is the best way that we know how. Why? To talk to the same people that listen to you talk about him every fucking day?
Yeah.
And what does this do?
What are you doing?
What are you doing?
You're doing the same shit you normally do.
What does this do? Nothing. This is the same thing you're doing every other time you talk about him on your show. You're talking to the same people. You're not going to reach a new audience because you're doing a live stream on Crystal Collin Friends' YouTube.
Yeah.
The same people who subscribe to that are going to see it. The same people that they share it with on a daily basis are going to see it. You're not going to reach a broader audience because you do a live stream on your own channel.
Yeah.
That's not how this works.
No, that's
not how
exactly
this
not
works.
how that
So
works.
It's not. You're not doing anything.
Because they could have done.
Well, you had.
They could have done it on the breaking points. You could have like multiple people there with all plugged into the same fucking cameras. I mean, you got this tight network of people. You could have been all there. You could have streaming on the realignment channel. You could have been streaming on the breaking points channel. You put the Kyle Kalinske fucking show.
I don't understand
the Crystal, all of it. You could have tried, but no.
I don't understand it.
And that's their legacy media fucking aspect of it. They don't think outside the box really. To them, this is just them half-assing a network show.
And that's how much we're hating on breaking points. It's almost
it's because it's disappointing.
Yeah, because it almost seems like they're like we're here, like we're comfortable where we're at. We've reached the pinnacle of what we're gonna be, and so we're just gonna ride out with where we're at and
do the show like you don't have any money coming in.
Yeah, how
about that? Do that shit like you got some skin in the game,
because
like it actually matters.
You can tell that they're like, we're the shit. Like, we're number one on the playlist. Like, Sagar's always sharing that stuff. Joe Rogan's not sharing that he's number one on the shit. No, none of those people are sharing that they're number one.
Like I said, if Joe Rogan had if he had actual ambitions towards, he could be fucking dictator of the goddamn world if he wanted to be.
And they just Breaking Points wanted to be better in modern media space than corporate media is, which is easy to do if you are even slightly better than corporate media, which is fucking easy to be.
You get your popularity numbers through corporate media, and then you spin off into new media, and you bring a bunch of those people with you, and if they're willing to pay you $5 a month, you are fucking filthy goddamn rich overnight.
We are unquestionably better than corporate media. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah.
It's easy. We were better in the beginning days of Salt of the Streets than corporate media
with one microphone between the two of us.
That's not a hard thing to be. No. It's hard to be genuine. It's hard to be principled. It's hard
Yeah.
to be honest about those things and to lay them out for people and be willing to take what people are going to say. It's hard to sit on a live stream and argue with a dude you don't know from literally the other side of the country and tell him, even though you don't know that he has cancer, you don't know that he's had all these things happen. I mean, that's what happened with Lenny. I don't know any of that shit about his past. I'm still willing to sit here and tell him you're fucking wrong. That is wrong. The way you are looking at COVID is wrong. And the way that you are looking at this public policy is wrong.
Yep.
For you, it's right. Your ideology does not apply to the rest of the country.
Yep.
They're not willing to do that. That's not something that they want to say
Yeah.
to individual people who had cancer, who had whatever.
Yep.
I
all
love Lenny. He's
broad
been here
brush.
one day. I don't care
I
that he had
know.
cancer. That does not change the way that I feel about
Lenny
any of
was
this
there,
stuff.
bro.
Lenny was there, So, but none of that changes how I feel about any of this stuff. None of that changes the fact that this is fucking tyrannical. And before he left, he's sitting here saying, that is insane that your state is proposing laws that are going to do this,
I know.
Here we are. Before
that's-
that, he's like, everyone should be vaxxed and boosted. So, what are we talking about? It's difficult to be honest, but in the end, it's for the best because I don't know what Lenny thought before he got here, but he probably thinks a little bit different than when he got here.
Yep, just a little bit, and that's all I would ask for. Even if I can challenge your worldview just slightest to make you step back and reassess what it is you're thinking, then I consider that a W. Like I don't want. I'm not 100% certain that my conceptual truth of reality, whatever it is correct.
Yeah,
I don't know. That's what I think right now. And if I can challenge you to think differently or similarly, and you offer feedback in return, and I go, oh, yeah, maybe, yeah, that might make sense. I'm not married to this concept. I'm willing to change, obviously,
Right.
and I would hold just like Lenny today, man. It's like, bro, that whole like start to finish, where it started, where it ended, it's just better understanding. I'm just thankful that he was here.
Yeah.
And then I learned something. I'm sure he learned something, and boom, it's all good shit. Huge fan of that.
I'm excited to hear what Paul has to say about whatever I said.
Oh, I'm sure he will have words.
I'm sure. I've never heard any of the words.
Paul is generally, so let me put it this way. When Paul used to work in my office, we would have conversations about things like that. And he's not a 4-hour watch the show guy. He's a generally catch the clips type of guy.
Yeah.
And every now and again when he gets the notification, or if he remembers, he'll pop in, check out
He was
a
here
little
for
bit.
a while.
Yep. And so he may have something. I'm sure he's going to have something. But it used to be when we worked together, we'd talk, everything was fine. It all worked out. And then by the end of it, he was usually on my side of things.
Yeah.
And now there's been some changes and stuff like that. He works in another office down the road, and it's the most tragic thing in the world because Paul is the guy you want in your office if you're going to be in an office all day, because he's fucking entertaining. He's great. And now I only get like a couple minutes with him a day. He comes back, we say some bad dad jokes, we chop it up for a little while, and then that's it. But, I used to be able to change a lot of stuff, and now I don't think I'm able to do that. So I'm sure that whatever it is, I'll hear about on Monday. I'll be able to bring him back around.
It's interesting to think that I'm a topic of conversation at your office.
It's a thing.
It's interesting to think because I've never once considered it.
With
the
a
people who
couple
listen.
few
Yeah.
people.
Right.
Yeah.
With the people who listen.
Because you got Will, you got Paul, you got Sir Lancelot, who will watch occasionally, but he's deep into the sphere, if you will. He's the conspiracy theorist extraordinaire.
Yeah. It's a rare occasion when somebody at my work will reference something that you or I have said.
Yeah.
It's occasionally like
That's
Dan-
interesting because
Dan
I feel
follows
like
us
you were in a
on-
better spot of people that would watch the show originally
Yes.
than I was.
Yes.
And now it might be the opposite.
Yeah. Tyler will watch upon occasion. I know Casey will watch upon occasion. Dan follows our Instagram pretty closely. He'll reference shit that we post on Instagram pretty regularly. Especially if it's a clip from like the government or something.
Like Dan?
Yeah.
Like little Dan?
Yeah, Boss Dan. Yeah.
I love Dan.
Yeah. He'll be like, "Oh, I saw that you were talking about this," and I'm like, "Oh yeah, fuck that bitch,"
Oh!
Yeah. No, he'll reference shit that we post on Instagram.
Dan was the only reason I got my job, by the way. Did you know that?
Really?
Yeah, because my, Tim knew of my dad and stuff like that, but like Dan used to like work with my dad at the shipyard or work real closely with him. He knew my dad from the shipyard. And so when I first got that job, that's basically between reference from Rachel, who was my neighbor at the time, my parents' neighbor, and then my dad working at the shipyard with Dan. It was like, boom, there it is. Yeah, you're basically hired, but why don't you come on in and we'll figure it out. Word. That's how that happened, though.
When I got a job there, and then we'll end this. When I got a job there, I was working the mattress store, and they were just looking for someone in the cutting department. Steve was going to retire. That's what it was.
Was Jordan working at?
Jordan was working at the deli.
Yeah, she was working the deli already.
Managing the deli, and we'd been together for like maybe a year, and she told me that somebody over there was going to retire, and so they were looking for someone in the cutting department. And I was over there for lunch one day, and Tim came in to get something, and so she introduced me to Tim, and he was like, "Oh, hey, what do you know? How do you like your job?" And I was like, "Oh, Tim, I fucking hate my job. Like,
yeah,
delivering mattresses is terrible. It's absolutely horrible." And so he was like, "Yeah, well, if you got some time, come in, when you get off work one day, and we'll talk about whatever." And I got off work early that day, and so I went in there and sat down and talked to him for a little bit, still in my "It's Bedtime" polo shirt.
God, I remember It's Bedtime.
Yeah.
I bought a mattress from them once.
And then I put in my 2 weeks the next day, and my boss was like, "Oh, I didn't even know that you were looking for a job."
It's like, well, yeah, I wasn't going to tell you.
Wasn't, but
well, yeah, and you actually weren't, yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't actively. I did not like that job, but
it was way better than call center was.
Yeah, I got that job. Was supposed to be the warehouse manager. And he was like, "Yeah, we'll probably make you manager within like 6 months." And I was like, "For sure." And then I worked there for like 9 months, and I didn't even get a raise or anything. I was like, "Why? Why I continue working here?" So, then I put in my 2 weeks, and I didn't make it quite 2 weeks. I wasn't 21 years old yet, so I wasn't old enough to be on the insurance for the driving insurance for their vehicles. And so I drove the truck sometimes, but wasn't really supposed to, And
I've had that happen a few
you're
times.
also legally for like L&I and whatever OSHA, you're not supposed to deliver anything by yourself. There has to be two people to deliver something. And there was one day where Daryl wasn't working, and it was just me. And Eric was like the owner of the company. He said, "I sold a king set, and I want you to deliver it. And the guy will meet you on the other end, and he'll help you bring it into his house."
Oh.
And I was like, "No." So I'm absolutely not going to do that. He said, "What do you mean?" I said, "I'm not going to do that." I said, "I'm not allowed to drive that truck." I said, I'm absolutely not going to do that. I said, "You have treated me poorly since the day that I first started working here."
Let me tell you exactly all the ways L&I and OSHA are going to fuck you if you try to make me do this.
"I'm not going to drive that truck." I said, "I'm not going to deliver that king set by myself." I said, "I quit, and I will see you later." And I took my shirt off, and I put it on the counter, and I went to walk away. He said, "Well, clock out so we can pay you." And so as I'm clocking out, and he said, "Yeah, go ahead, Donovan. The old man will take care of it." And I said, "Have fun." And then I walked out. and then I called Tim on my way home, and I was like, "Hey, I ended up, stopped working early. So if you want me to come in, tomorrow and start," I was like, "I can do that." And he's like, "Yeah, that's fine." So I just went into bed the next day.
That, I think, is a fantastic story. I can't believe I've known you this long and I've never actually heard that story. That's a great story.
Yeah.
And I think this has been a great After Dark episode.
Patreon
whatever.
only
Yep.
segment.
Patreon. So we're going to pimp this shit real hard all week. So if you're a member of Patreon, thanks for being here. If you're a new member of Patreon, thanks for being here. And thanks for coming here and believing in us and believing in our message. And I greatly appreciate it. I know Donovan greatly appreciates it.
Thank you.
And with that, we're going to bid you adieu. We'll see you on the other side.
Have a good night, everybody.
Welcome to the south of the streets, coming at you.